Well, we've discussed some very basic safety information. So in this module, let's talk about something you can use both at work or at home. How to prevent back injuries. First, you need to understand the physical makeup of your back, how it works, how to keep it fit and healthy. Then we're going to demonstrate some safe lifting techniques.
The back is a complex unit made of several components. The spine is made of bones, nerves, and discs. The bones give your back strength, while the discs act as shock absorbers between the bones. If there were no discs, your back wouldn't be able to bend and stay flexible, and the bones would crush against the nerves, making life unbearable. The discs are like soft hockey pucks made of a jelly-like material. The discs absorb the pressure applied to your back and bones, so they get a lot of wear and tear. You've all heard the old saying, bend your legs, not your back. The reason for this is you want to keep your back in its normal curvature so the discs will remain spread evenly across the bones. It's a law of physics that the more surface you can spread pressure over, the less pressure per square inch. Let's look at it another way. If you have your back in its natural curve, whatever load you're lifting, the bones put that amount of pressure on your discs. If the discs are spread evenly across the surface of the bones, there's less pressure per square inch on the discs. If you bend your back in this manner, all the pressure is going to one side of the disc and can cause damage to the disc. Every time you bend your back, you're putting pressure on one side of the disc, and eventually you may have a disc problem because discs do wear out from excessive pressure or damage. The main thing you need to remember is to keep your discs spread evenly across the surface of your back bones, to keep that pressure spread evenly across the surface. You need to maintain flexibility in your back to carry out normal routine duties and to live a comfortable life. Some persons damage their discs and have to have them removed. What happens here is that the bones between the missing disc must be fused or cemented together to keep the nerves from being crushed. It's major surgery, and when you recover, your back won't nearly be as flexible as before because two bones will be fused together. The next component of your back is ligaments. Ligaments are strong fiber-like material and help support your back. Ligaments are designed to stretch, adding additional flexibility to your body. They're sort of like rubber bands. However, if you stretch them too far, they can tear. Time will heal the ligaments, but why go through the pain? To prevent your ligaments from tearing, simply keep your back fit. Exercise frequently and don't overstretch. Use a stepladder or get some help, but don't overstretch. Athletes can stretch their bodies because they're in great shape. But if you're not an athlete and don't work out all of the time, a sudden overstretching of your ligaments can cause them to tear.
In my opinion, is people that are not educated on how to properly use their back. And not only to be educated on the proper use of their back, but also the limitations. For instance, a lot of people don't know that it's not proper to lift and twist and turn at the same time. You're supposed to lift an object and get in a position where you can take a step back or a couple of steps back and then turn your whole body, say in a 90-degree angle, and then go forward. But this lifting and twisting at the same time is definitely plays havoc on the back.
Another thing we've learned over the years is that when you drop something, let it fall. Trying to catch something falling puts a tremendous strain and pressure on your back, and if you catch it the wrong way, it could result in a serious injury. Okay, some more tips on a healthy back. The old saying, use it or lose it, certainly applies to your back. Exercise is good for your whole body, but it's great for your back. Before you begin work, allow your back to warm up, just like your car. Start the engine and let it idle a little bit before you begin to move. Same thing with your back. Except to let it idle, you do a few warm-up exercises. Minor stretching exercises, whatever you feel you can do to get your back warmed up. We're not talking about major workouts, but something you can do to get the kinks out of your back. Exercise will prevent a lot of back injuries. If you're overweight, you have a lot of pressure on your back without even lifting anything. Your ligaments are working hard just to keep up with the added weight, so keep fit and healthy because your back depends on it. How about lifting? No problem. Remember to keep your discs spread evenly across the bones. It's called keeping your back in its natural curvature. If you do this, you can lift safely every time. For a quick demonstration, we'll use a person picking a box up off the floor. The person stands between the box, feet spread evenly in a comfortable position. The person bends down close to the box. Get a good palm grip because you don't want the box to slip and fall. Next, pull the load close to your body, then stands up. Very simple but effective. Let's take a look at another person doing the same thing and see if the person is lifting correctly. Did you see anything wrong? She had her legs bent and her back was in its normal curvature and she got a fairly good grip on the box. Anything wrong? Yes, she made the same mistake thousands of other people do on a daily basis. The box was held too far away from her body. This puts too much pressure on the back. Let's take a look at what we mean. The relationship to the weight of an object you're lifting and the pressure on your back is about 10 to 1. This means if you lift an object weighing 10 pounds, you're putting 100 pounds of pressure on your back even when lifting safely. If you pick up a 50-pound box and hold it close to your body, you're putting about 500 pounds of pressure on your back. No big deal. However, if the load isn't held closely to your body, that 50-pound box may be putting 800 or 1,000 pounds of pressure on your back. That could be a big deal. Let's look at it another way. When you're lifting, there's a thing we call a safety zone. The green or safe zone is when the load is held close to your body. The yellow or caution zone means that it may still be safe to lift, but you're adding additional pressure to your back by having the weight slightly away from your body. Obviously, the red or danger zone is where an object is lifted much further away from your body, creating a greater imbalance from the center of gravity of your body. Okay, that's the mechanics, but they're important and they should be used on a daily basis, at home and work. Anything else about safe lifting? Yes, there's much more, but we'll just touch on a couple more tips. Use mechanical means whenever possible to lift anything, and if the object you're lifting is awkward or too heavy, get some help. When lifting, use whatever you can to help support your back. Maybe you're lifting an object and have one hand free. Use your free hand for support if possible. Use your legs as support for your back. Mechanics installing batteries in a car can't make the final part of the lift with their legs bent, so they use the fender of the car as support for the back. Use your good judgment. Think of how the discs should be aligned between the bones of the back. Keep the loads held closely to your body. Don't overstretch, and certainly don't lift and twist while lifting. If you think of the lift and think of safety every time you lift something, anything, it's difficult to cause a back injury. Many companies are using flex supports for employees who lift on a regular basis. The important thing to remember about flex support belts is they don't make your back stronger, and they can't prevent a back injury. They're just for extra support, and you still have to use the safe lifting techniques, exercise, and all the other good things you need to do to lift safely.